Plenty of clouds yesterday. In fact, the roof was closed, but today is gorgeous and cool for early May standards in Phoenix, Arizona. Welcome, everybody, to Chase Field. Getaway day for the Rockies and for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Arizona heading to Miami. They'll have a day off tomorrow down there. The Rockies heading a short distance away to San Diego, where they'll open up a three-game set tomorrow against the Padres. But first things first, the Rockies going for the sweep of Arizona. It has been since 2004, as we mentioned, the last time the Rockies swept the series at Chase Field. Charlie Blackmon's going to lead things off for the Rockies. Since his return on Friday night, he's done splendidly. He has 4 hits already in the series. Here's the Southwest batting order today for Walt Weiss. Trevor Story, the hero from last night, with the 2-run triple in the 9th against Brad Ziegler. He'll bat second naturally. Cargo had 3 hits yesterday. He's up to 330. Nolan will bat 4th. Gerardo Parra, riding a 6-game hitting streak, will bat 5th. DJ LeMahieu, he owns a home run against Shelby Miller. He'll bat 6th. Then Ben Paulson, he had a hit in the 9th to get things going. Tony Walters will do the catching. He'll bat 8th. And Chad Bettis on the mound. The Atlanta offseason acquisition, Shelby Miller, and similar to Zach Greinke, he has struggled mightily so far in an Arizona uniform. Huey, an 8.69 ERA.
And 16 strikeouts, 15 walks, very high whip. He only has 1 win in his last 30 starts. That's right, 1 win in his last 30 starts. I can't remember anybody that's been like that. The Rockies saw him earlier this year when he also matched up against Chad Bettis in that game. And for Shelby Miller, fastball, cutter, splitter, curve. What he's been having trouble with is left-handed batters. He's walking them more. His strike percentage is down to lefties. So today, look for that against Shelby Miller. And then at San Diego, he also did something that I have not seen maybe ever, where he followed through so much that he scraped his knuckles down on the ground and actually had to come out of the ball game because he hurt his hand.
Yeah, he's done that a couple times this year, and talking to some people around the game, they're like you, they hadn't seen that before. To the point where you had to come out.
Where you had to come out because it did so much damage to the knuckles. He just couldn't, it was continued to bleed.
So here we go, Miller against Charlie Blackmon, and the first pitch is a fastball at 90 for a strike, and Charlie typically will take that first pitch. Miller has not allowed a hit in the first inning. He's allowed a bunch of hits after the first inning, though. And that's a little bit low and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
To your point, he has a 0 ERA in the first inning. The rest of the way, 11.66.
Amazing. 74 degrees is the temperature. Who would have thought? Good breaking ball from Miller, and it's 1-2. Zach Greinke was a mixed bag yesterday. You give him credit. He ends up only giving up 2 runs in 7 innings, but he dealt with a lot of traffic. The Rockies had 8 hits against him, and many of them were solidly contacted, shall we say, but he also struck at 8. He had a good slider. 2-2. The Rockies got 6 runs off of Miller when he matched up with Chad Bettis in game 2 of the season. All 6 runs came in 1 inning. Rockies had 3 home runs off him in that inning. Here's the 2-2, and it's 3-2.
Nice early start for Charlie, laying off the second breaking pitch that he has seen from Shelby Miller.
Here's Trevor. Charlie's one of 6 Rockies that are hitting for a higher average out on the road in the early going. How about that? And the Rockies' record reflects that. They're 7-4 away from home, and surprisingly just 4-8 right now at 20th and Blake.
And I don't think it's any coincidence that what they've done in the last 2 ball games with Charlie leading off again. You just missed that presence at the top of the order while he was injured.
He's one of the elite leadoff men in the game. And this ball is well hit to center field. Going back Owings, he's going to have a play right in the middle of the warning track. He took a glance up at the overhang thinking it may hit that, and David Peralta was running over to catch the rebound. So Blackmon gives it a ride, but it turns into a 400-foot out.
It just missed going into that overhang by a foot. A foot to the right, it would have been a home run.
Well, here's Shelby Miller against Trevor Story. In the first matchup, that's when he started getting on the national stage. 2 home runs against Greinke. Then the next day, he gives up a home run. And this was all in the same inning. Hundley hit a home run off him, and then DJ turned on one to take Shelby Miller deep. Rockies put a 6 spot up in that inning. Unfortunately, Colorado would lose that game 11-6. It's the only game they have lost to Arizona this year. They're 4-1 at Chase Field. One-0 to Trevor, and this is on the ground on 2 hops to second. Phil Gosselin is there, 2 outs. Arizona's made a couple changes in their Sunday lineup. This is the end of a 20-game stretch for Arizona where they've played every day. Yasmani Tomas, Chris Owings, Peralta, that's the same outfield. Brandon Drury's at third, Nick Ahmed is at short. Phil Gosselin's in at second for Gene Segura. Goldschmidt at first, and Chris Herman, who's swinging the bat well as a starter. Home run in each of his last 2 starts. He's behind the plate for Wellington Castillo. There's a good look at Herman.
Came over from the Twins.
Cargo 3 hits yesterday, facing the shift with 2 outs, and that pitch is in there for a strike. Cargo so far against the Diamondbacks this year, 7 for 16. Again, tormenting his former employers.
And last night, after the day off, says, I have you, Zach Greinke. I'll throw out a knock in the first inning against you, and for good measure again in the 5th inning. And then in the 8th inning, off Daniel Hudson to cap a 3-for-4 evening.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on. Rockies produced 13 hits last night. 3rd straight ball game that they have been in double digits in hits. It's amazing what winds do for a bounce in your step, huh? We were chatting about that with Walt this morning.
Just coming to the ball field just feels differently.
Good job wasting that fastball on the outer edge. As we all know, Cargo has tremendous reach. He can hit that pitch out of the ballpark.
One of the
guys can't reach it.
He also has one of the highest batting averages on the ball that is up, and also the ball that is away from him in all of baseball.
Shelby Miller, for 3 straight years when he was coming up with the Cardinals, was their #1 prospect. Out of Brownwood, Texas, where he was a phenomenal high school player, terrific high school football player, good wide receiver, one of the best punters in the state of Texas.
Well, he signed to play baseball at Texas A&M.
Yeah, and they have a tremendous program. Maggie's pretty much good in everything. 2-2 on Cargo. Roof open on a beautiful Sunday afternoon in Phoenix.
And the panels too.
Panels are open also, you're right. And Cargo fouls that pitch off. Remember at the All-Star game, didn't Sammy hit one out? He hit one through the panels.
Wouldn't surprise me. I saw him almost hit one out down in Houston at Minute Maid Park. Over the railroad tracks when they had that thing open.
Ball he hit landed in Marley's. 3-2. Dan Marley's restaurant outside the when Cody Houston matriculates. Ball 4. Good at bat.
Great at bat.
That's the 5th walk allowed in the first inning for Shelby Miller this year. No hits, as we mentioned, allowed. So Cargo jogs down to first. That'll give Nolan an opportunity to swing the bat against Miller. And Arenado just 1 hit and 12 at bats against Shelby Miller. You figure that'll be changing at some point here. Nolan hitting .355 his last 8 ball games, including 4 home runs. Look at that robust slugging percentage, .670.
Tied for the major league lead in home runs with his teammate.
This ball is hammered to left. He barreled it, but he got under it. I mean, he had all barrel on that. He missed it. That's why he's upset. He missed that by a smidgen. So Shelby Miller can walk off, and it'll be Chad Bettis time when we return. And Chad Bettis ready to go. He's completed his warm-up pitches. Phil Gosselin will be the first Diamondback he'll see this afternoon. Gosselin getting his first start of the series, former University of Virginia product. 276 average. Here's Chip Hale's lineup, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Brandon Drury tied the ball game last night with a 2-run home run. He'll be batting second. Then Goldschmidt, David Peralta, Yasmani Tomas, Chris Herman will bat 6th. Chris Owings, .338 this year against the Rockies. Nick Ahmed, and then the pitcher, and the first pitch is in there, strike 1. Gosselin's a guy they like a lot, super utility guy, can play the outfield. And he swings and misses, is at second base this afternoon. 6th start of the year for Bettis. 2-1, .377 ERA, almost a 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio.
And the whip 1.06. And if you're wondering what's the lowest ever for a Rocky for a full season, of course, that would be a Baldo in 2010. He had a 1.15 whip.
League average is around 129.
Utilizing the fastball, and that'll be both sides with some sink on it at times.
This ball's hitting the air to left, and standing out there is Gerardo Parra. 1 out. Brandon Drury's coming up. Here's a look at the Rockies defensively, trying to produce the sweep against Arizona. Parra, Black, Cargo in the outfield, and it's Arenado, Story, LeMahieu, Ben Paulson in the infield with Tony Walters doing the catching on a Sunday afternoon. Tony's been so sharp defensively.
A student of the game.
23-year-old is getting to go home.
We were talking to him yesterday. He's like, I can't wait to see the dogs.
Family? Wait. I want to see the dogs.
I want to see the dogs.
Well, it's dog day at the park here today. and there had to be like 1,000 dogs. I'm not exaggerating, walking the warning track prior to the ball game. Slider. Ooh. 2-1 on Drury. But when you come home, who greets you first? The dogs.
It's usually the dogs.
The dogs.
Yeah, they're happy to see. The kids are like, okay, Dad's home, great.
Right.
Okay.
Hey, Dad.
Hey.
Because they don't get up from the couch. That's a strike. 2-2. Love you, Dad. But the dogs come over. They'll give you smooches.
That's right.
That's a pretty dog. And this ball is hit to deep left. Parra going back, hoping for a play, and he leaps, doesn't have it. A home run for Brandon Drury, his 5th of the year, back-to-back ball games with a home run. That's why he's been in the lineup.
That's his 4th home run in the last 5 games.
Well, he hung a curveball to Goslin, and Goslin, quite frankly, just missed it on the fly ball to Parra. That was a hanger also, and Drury did not miss it.
Subaru Supermo. Yeah, that was belt high hanger. And Brandon Drury, not much of a leg kick. It's just get the foot back down, and then so close in the outfield. There was no fan interference. He didn't reach over.
Well, they're going to take a look.
And that's why the yellow line is out there. And this.
And then again, if he's over the yellow line, reaching out, that could wipe out the home run. Let's take another look.
Yeah, and I think this is an official review. It's not the Rockies asking for it. It's an official one.
It's going to be hard to judge if is he reaching across where he's lateral, or is he reaching out beyond, and that is going to be really difficult to tell. And they say home run. So it's 1-0 Arizona. And that'll bring up Paul Goldschmidt. Goldschmidt fires at the first pitch, fouls it back.
It's pretty rare for Paul to swing at the first pitch. Done it much in this series.
Goldschmidt 4 for 9, a couple doubles, and a home run against Bettis. One ball, one strike. The face of the Arizona franchise, Paul Goldschmidt. Goldschmidt has now reached in 40 consecutive games against the Rockies. That's the longest stretch for an Arizona player against any opponent. Just missed. 3-2. The all-time record against the Rockies, Mike Piazza, between 95 and 99, reached in 48 straight. And the slider's fouled off. Goldschmidt during those 40 games is at 381.
It's not just all hits for Goldschmidt. He will take his walks.
He's walked more than anybody in baseball this year. That's hard on the ground to second, right at DJ. 2 outs. I'm going to bring up another guy that's had good swings career-wise against Chad Bettis, David Peralta.
5 for 8 career against Chad.
In there for a strike. Peralta won for his last 12 against Rockies pitching. Two strikes on Peralta, native of Venezuela. And he strikes out Peralta to end the inning. Brandon Drury hit a hanger over the left field wall, and Arizona has a 1-0 lead as we go to the second. Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by your hometown Toyota stores. Toyota, let's go places. By CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by Southwest Airlines, transparency. Low fares, nothing to hide. This is a Poodle Cam, which, you know, I think every dog owner should have for their pet. From the perspective of Coco the Poodle.
You have one for your...
Well, we have two dogs. So
right?
we have, yeah, the problem is the golden, the Mac are golden, it works fine, but Stella, the golden, or excuse me, the English sheepdog has a large amount of hair, so sometimes the picture's not as crisp.
And you don't want to just shave an area in Stella where the camera would.
Well, we can do that. My wife has used my clippers to shave other parts of the dog, so I no longer use the clippers.
Okay.
Information that you didn't need to have. Parra leading things off, a 1-0 count against Shelby Miller in the top of the second. And that's in there for a strike. Jordan Baker's behind home plate, calling balls and strikes. At first base, Tim Timmons, Paul Emmel at second, Toby Basner is at third. The high-energy left fielder for the Rockies, and Eduardo fouls this one off. He's always in the middle of whatever activity's going on in the clubhouse, the card game, the conversation.
the jokes. Not only.
He's also on the cover of the May issue of the Rockies magazine, which you'll have to go and get. Here's the 1-2. Good swing. I like it, the para effect.
Again, today, Walt had his Para for President shirt on while he was doing his daily press briefings, media briefings.
Every year there's a T-shirt that comes out of spring training, and the Para for President one has been the most popular. Michael Kadire would come up with a saying each spring that was put on the front of a T-shirt, workout shirt. You see players wearing it not only throughout the spring but throughout the season. But now everybody's wearing their Para for President.
Right in Canada.
And this is on the ground to Gosselin. So that'll bring up LeMahieu. DJ 5 for 11 with a home run in his matchups with Shelby Miller. He's 7 for 18 overall against Arizona this year. DJ hits all over the lineup, hitting 6th today. In front of Paulson and Walters.
We've seen him hit leadoff, second, 9th, 8th.
And this is top to short. 2 outs. Fans at the Rockies score 7 or more runs. Go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 to receive your Rockies taco special. Live Moss at Taco Bell. So with 2 outs and nobody on, Ben Paulson will come up. Ben Paulson with 1 out in the 9th inning in a 2-2 game yesterday, pinch hit and rifled a single to right against Brad Ziegler. That got the rally going. Blackman followed with a hit, and then Trevor Story, initially behind in the count, rifled a triple down the right field line, made it 4-2, and Nolan would knock in another run and the Rockies would win 5-2. But Ben Paulson got it going. That was a terrific at bat from Ben.
Ben has hit in his last 8 starts that he's been out there, overall 9 out of his last 10. So whether it's starting, coming off the bench, we were talking to Charlie Blackman about it. He can just hit.
He can hit. Here's the 1-1. And this is on the ground to Gosselin. 3 ground ball outs for Miller in a clean second inning. Middle of 2. Home run by Brandon Drury has given the Diamondbacks an early 1-0 advantage.
Hill for the Rockies, down 1-0 as we go bottom 2. The unwritten rule kind of in baseball is you talk to the starting pitcher the day before he starts. You don't talk to him on the day he starts. So I was talking to Chad yesterday about how things have been going with the starters in this series against Arizona.
Good pitching's very contagious, and so it was. We had a great start last night, and we're going to follow it up here with Russin, and then tomorrow we'll go from there.
True, Jeff. I just get the sense that Chad Bettis is really enjoying himself this year, the way he's been pitching. We talked about kind of stats and numbers. He said, "I just like the way the ball is coming out of my hand." And Huey, you can talk about the contagious part. I know we talk about that with hitting. Pitchers are kind of on their own, but I think they think the same way.
They definitely do. You want to follow up. You don't want to be that weak link in a chain. And so everybody, and we saw it last year with Cargo and Nolan, the home runs. You see the base hit to right, but the pitchers are the same way. They want to do, and they want to compete against their brethren. They want to go out there and they want to be the guy.
Confidence is such a great ally in every endeavor in life, particularly in sports, and Chad Bettis has an abundance of confidence. He'll deal now with Chris Herman with one man on and nobody out. Eighth start behind the plate for Herman. He's homered in back-to-back starts. He had a 4 RBI ball game last week against Pittsburgh, which tied his career high. Rockies have a shift on, so the coverage will be a little different. Story is on the right side. Here's a good look at it. Rockies with the third most shifts in baseball so far this year.
284 shifts.
Almost a third of the time. And a broken bat fly ball to Cargo.
And if you're I was just going to say, and if you're wondering what constitutes a shift, it's just more than two guys on one side of second base. I mean, that's how the definition. So if you're wondering, well, 284, yeah, it either means the shortstop's on the other side or the second baseman's on the shortstop side of second base.
24-year-old Chris Owings at the plate, hitting .359 his last 13 ball games. And this will be an easy play for Ben Paulson. He had no opportunity really to get the lead runner, Tomas. That ball wasn't hit very hard. You kind of have a
side spin too.
Head.
Yeah, and for Ben, he knew that once it had that side spin on it, wasn't hit hard, take the out. You have a guy coming up right now, and Nick Ahmed, who is hitting 183. 8th place hitter. Don't try to do something foolish where you might throw it into left field.
So Ahmed gets ready. 2 outs. Tomas at second base. And Chad Bettis with a slider, and it's lined right at Nolan Arenado. That'll end the inning. Tomas left at second base. We'll go to the third. 1-0 Arizona. And Drury home run. Rockies in the third inning will have Tony Walters, Chad Bettis, and then Charlie Blackmon amid the cactuses of Arizona. Join in on the conversation each and every day. Send us your statements, your thoughts, your questions, photos perhaps, on your favorite social media platform. Just utilize the hashtag Toyota Talk.
Just 7 pitches last inning for Shelby Miller. Shelby is 6-19 since the start of last year, which is the lowest win percentage among active pitchers.
Well, he pitched for the Braves last year, and the offense never got the wake-up call whenever he was on the mound. He had the worst run support in baseball last year at 254. He's getting 2 runs better than that this year, but he still hasn't won. He's 0-2 with an 8.69 ERA. Here's the 0-1 on Tony. That's in there. It's a pitch he's trying to stay off of, trying to hunt the fastball. Walters snapped an 0 for 18 the other day with a 9th inning double on Friday. Fastball rides high. You'll see a 94 here and there from Miller, but a lot of 91s and 92. Still a really good arm, but the evolution of a pitcher from when they arrive to when they settle in often will be accompanied by a reduction in fastball velocity.
Yeah, you'll see the velocity go up a lot of times when they're 16 years to 20 years of age, maybe 21, but then they'll start to hold steady. Every once in a while you'll see it go up at 22, age 23, but then it'll stay steady and then it'll start to decline. It's just because they have so many innings, so many throws in their arms. It's not from the lack of preparation, it's just the human body.
And plus you learn how to pitch.
Yeah, it's more of a pitching than throwing.
It's amazing what you hitters can do, even with guys that are 95 plus. 1-0 on Bettis, and that's fouled off. Well, the Rockies have gotten after both Shelby Miller and, as we discussed quite a bit last night, Zach Greinke this year. Combined in 17 innings, they have 25 hits off the pair, 15 runs, 6 home runs. They're hitting .342 now. They're looking for their first knock this afternoon with 1 out in the 3rd against Miller. There's Greinke. I mean, Greinke had to battle his tail off to keep the Rockies to 2 runs last night.
It seemed like every pitch that he threw of the 105, it was a stressful 105 pitches.
It's only 1-1-2-3 inning. Back-to-back strikeouts in the 3rd for Miller. So the first time through, you tip your cap to Shelby Miller. He allowed only 1 base runner, a 2-out walk to Cargo in the 1st. You got 4 ground balls and a couple of strikeouts first time through. The guys who took the best swings against him, Charlie Blackmon and the guy on deck, Charlie Blackmon and Nolan Arenado. Charlie hit one 400 feet plus to center field that Chris Owings caught, and Nolan missed hitting one out by a grain. In his initial at bat. 1-0 on Blackmon. 2 for 5 last night. 2 for 4 with a walk on Friday. 2-0.
Now's when you hunt the fastball. 2-0 count.
It was a fastball and no swing. 3-0.
It's a hard pitch to lay off when you're geared up for the fastball. You see it and you're expecting it, but then it's not where you wanted it. It's still hard to lay off. Charlie did.
Ball 4, 4-pitch walk. Second walk allowed by Miller, and that'll allow Story to hit here in the in the third. Trevor hit a 2-hopper to second in his first at bat.
Charlie caught a break there. That looked like that third and fourth pitch at the top of the Subaru strike zone.
Couple of Texas kids doing battle here. Shelby Miller and Trevor Story. Charlie takes off, and he'll swipe his second base of the year as that ball was in the dirt. Even if Herman picks it cleanly, he's not going to have a chance.
Arizona had only allowed 11 stolen bases, but Charlie picked the right pitch to run on. Great jump, ball down in the dirt.
Charlie's a long strider. When he gets going, he eats up a lot of real estate, and he's, as we all know, a very, very good base stealer, very aggressive base runner.
Yeah, studies the pitchers.
So the tying run out there for the Rockies in the third. Here's the 1-0 upcoming to Story. Well, Trevor Story has had an unbelievable month of April as we move into May. Home runs, all-time ranks among rookies. This is not Rockies, this is MLB. First, extra base hit 17, second. And you know what's, I mean, all those numbers are ridiculously impressive, but I love the thing we talked about at the top of the broadcast, the go-ahead RBIs, big hits, clutch hits, as his hit last night in the ninth was.
He has 7 of them. Tied with a couple other guys, Nick Markakis and Michael Conforto, with the go-ahead RBIs.
And he really had to pull his hands in against a difficult guy in Brad Ziegler. He hadn't seen him before.
Well,
he's funky.
And right on right with a guy that drops down, your natural reaction is I need to open up my hip, and I need to make sure that I can clear my hands.
Boy, he had a pitch there, and he fouled it back.
But he didn't worry about that. He still went with the same game plan that I need to go up the middle or the other way. And to be able to take an inside pitch and keep it fair going the opposite way tells you a lot about that swing path.
Two and two. Let's see, given the early book on Story, if Miller spins one here. No, he went fastball, and he reached back and threw it at 94 to strike out Story. So the Rockies get Blackman to second, trailing 1-0, middle of 3. Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. By Tavern Downtown. Visit Tavern Downtown after Rockies home games and get a 2-for-1 draft beer with your same-day ticket. And by Coors Light, whatever your mountain, climb on. Chad Bettis to Shelby Miller, strike one. Drew Goodman, Jeff Houston, Mark Stout from pretty Chase Field on a sunny Sunday afternoon. 1-0, a Brandon Drury home run in the first. All the scoring we've had so far, and that was actually the third strike. We missed a pitch. Shelby Miller's gone. 2 strikeouts for
second baseman
Chad Bettis.
Goslin.
Phil Goslin flew to left field in his first at bat. Former 5th-round pick out of UVA by the Atlanta Braves. A hard-nosed player. Had a real good career at Virginia. His junior year, he hit .382 with 11 home runs, drove in 61.
He didn't start playing second base until 2010.
He was an outfielder in college. That's up the middle, and will be knocked down by Story, but an infield hit.
Right back up the middle with Goslin hitting. Not sure, even if Trevor comes up with this, he's going to have to be a spin throw to first base at the speed of Goslin. He would have beat it out anyway, but it still speaks volumes about the range for Trevor. That's one thing that's been kind of overlooked by his offense is the range and the defense, other than that one double play ball. But, you know, in a month, and we're just talking about one play, 1 or 2 plays.
Brandon Drury's home run, the difference in the game right now. Drury hit 4 home runs in April, which tied the club record for most home runs by a rookie in April. And given what Story has done with 10 home runs, you say, wow. Brandon Drury, by the way, and Trevor Story are very good friends. They played together in the Fall League a couple years ago. They share something else in common. Off-season workout partner. We know that Trevor, several off seasons, worked with Troy Tulowitzki in Las Vegas in the off season, lifting and running with him. Brandon Drury also last few years has worked out with Tulowitzki in the off season. You say, well, what's the connection? The connection is that there's a fly ball to center field. Troy's high school coach, I coached him in high school in Northern California, moved up to Oregon to coach and actually coached Drury in high school. And the coach then hooked up Brandon with Troy.
I always thought it was important to train with somebody else in your sport, somebody that kind of push you, understands what your workout is like and what you need to do. I'm all for hiring a trainer, but make sure it's sports specific.
Yep. Inside on Goldschmidt. I think Goldschmidt is in more favorable counts than any hitter I've seen in baseball. Guys are so careful with them. It's always 1-0, 2-0. Doesn't it seem that way?
Yeah, and there's always 1 or 2 guys on every team where, oh boy, you got to pitch this guy carefully. Not much of a strike zone. He knows his own zone.
You almost feel like the meetings that the pitcher-catcher meetings with the pitching coach begin with, okay, you can't let Goldschmidt beat you. So it's in the head, right? And,
yes.
You know, in fairness, listen, a great hitter, one of the best players in the game.
It keeps getting better.
So I think pitchers are always on the defensive and lends themselves to being in upside-down counts. 1-1, and now Bettis has the count in his favor on that foul ball. It's 1-2.
But it is true, because pitchers, you think, well, I can't make a mistake to this guy. I can't hang a pitch. So you have a negative thought in your mind instead of a positive. And so what do? You end up hanging a pitch, or you miss your location because you're trying to be too fine. And then with the other guys that maybe aren't that type of hitter, they say, oh, yeah, I've got this guy, and just relax and let the ball go.
1-2, and Bettis wasn't intimidated there. He struck him out on 4 pitches. That'll end the third. We'll move to the fourth. Rockies trying to figure out Shelby Miller. They gone without a hit so far against Miller, down 1-0. Matchup. Bumgarner, I think, threw somewhere in the neighborhood of 115 pitches. He was facing a bases loaded situation in a 4-0 game, and he already had 110 pitches. You think they went and got him?
No.
No way.
Probably just gave him that look.
And he struck out the next hitter on 3 pitches. So Bumgarner wins the battle with Thor. Here's Cargo. He walked his first time up, leading off in the 4th inning. And Cargo takes a strike. This Mad Bum does like pitching in Queens. 1-1 on Carlos. See the shift for Arizona against Cargo. He's used to seeing that. Astros have shifted more than anybody in baseball than the Brewers, and the Rockies third.
The Marlins are last. They've only shifted 30 times.
And that is a base hit to left center field. So the Rockies' first hit. Man, is Cargo ever just spraying balls all over the field?
And I think we've seen him take a ball as hard as anybody to the opposite field this year. I think that they can pitch him away. He covers away. That was up and away on the Subaru strike zone. It's a laser over the head of the third baseman.
So a leadoff base hit for Cargo, and that'll bring up Nolan Arenado, Rockies' third baseman. At some point here, Nolan's going to get a day off. Walt was discussing that before the ball game. You just hate not riding Arenado in the cleanup spot. That's a strike.
And that is a tough decision for a manager, because he hits cleanup or hits third as he did when Cargo had the night off. Plays defense like we know he does every night.
Walt will be the first to tell you he is a better manager when 28 is on the field.
Well, it's tough to take 28 out of the lineup. He didn't want to come out.
So yesterday you and I were chatting with Ryan Rayburn, and one of the questions we asked Ryan, so what have you noticed? What are your observations with the Rockies now and in the National League? He's been an American League player. He said, well, one of my first observations is that, I'd heard a lot about Nolan, heard a lot about Cargo. He said, and watching them up close, he said it's amazing. He goes, I cannot believe how hard Cargo hits the baseball. And that ball scoots through, and Cargo's going to move up on the dirt ball. So now the Rockies, with nobody out, have the tying run at second.
Herman just did not get down all the way on this curveball, and it is a pass ball. He was just late closing the 5-hole.
I think one of the hardest parts of being a catcher, Hugh, you're involved in every single pitch, is you can't have that one pitch where you had a lack of focus. Even as shortstops, I mean, you can't be that way, but you may have that pitch and go, wow, you know what? I didn't roll up that time.
I wasn't quite ready for that, yeah.
And the ball may not have found you there, but in your mind you go, boy, I'm glad the ball wasn't hit to me. But a catcher can't afford that.
And that's why I say the catching position is the hardest position to break into the big leagues, because you have to worry about, first and foremost, what you do behind the plate and the pitcher in that relationship, and then people expect you to also hit. And he can't do that. But for a catcher, he's got to learn everybody. He's got to learn the opposing team's hitters. And you're right. Who handles the ball more than the pitcher? The catcher. He's just, I mean, those two guys involved in every single play.
90 feet is a precious commodity at every level. When you get to the highest level against a guy, I know he hasn't had a good year so far, but a guy of the caliber of Shelby Miller, man, 90 feet's enormous. See if the Rockies can take advantage here. 3-1 on Nolan. And Nolan tried to wait and drive that the other way. He's got to move Cargo along, even though you say, well, he's a cleanup man. He's had more RBIs than anybody since the start of 2015 by 9. His job right now, more than anything, is to make sure Cargo gets to third, at the very least.
Well, I think also how are they going to pitch you? Are they going to let you pull the ball, try to hit one out, or are they going to pitch you away?
3-2. And that's driven the other way. It's going to get down. Cargo around third. And he's coming home with the tying run. Nolan Arenado, an RBI machine. He went the other way, and he gets the ribby to boot, and it's 1-1. RBI number 23 for Nolan.
Came into the game 5th in the Major League, 4th in the National League in RBIs with 22. And as we were talking about, try to hit the ball the other way, but also the jump that Cargo got at second base. There was no hesitation. He knew where David Peralta was playing. He knew where that ball was going to land, so there wasn't even a chance to throw him out at the plate.
Huey, what a great observation, great point. I mean, that's doing your homework pre-pitch.
You have to know where guys are positioned as a base runner.
And Herrera belts this one, but it's right at Peralta. That thing was hit so hard it started knuckling late. With some hard outs off the bat of Parra the last 2 nights. Remember the ball to left last night?
That was late in the game.
So here comes the product to LSU by the way of Bloomfield Hills, Michigan, and Brother Rice High School. DJ LeMahieu. It's too tall. Ball 1 on DJ.
That's the second or third pitch tonight, or today I should say, in the Subaru strike zone that has been at the top of the zone. Jordan Baker has not called it. Fans, Coca-Cola value packs are back for the 2016 season. It's available every value game, including May 9th through the 11th against these Arizona Diamondbacks. Arizona, that's at the end of a long road trip for them. They take off after the ball game. We'll head down to Miami with an off day tomorrow.
DJ, base hit the other way, and Nolan will stop at second as Peralta quick to the baseball, and he has a large arm. So the Rockies, after not getting a hit in the first 3 innings, have 3 singles here in the 4th against Miller. They've tied it up.
First baseman.
And Ben Paulson coming up.
Some loud balls in this inning. And DJ, the patented inside out line drive to the other opposite field. I mean, that's 4 balls. Cargo hit his hard, Nolan did, Gerardo, and now DJ. Just follow suit, Ben. Been 6 for 11 with runners in scoring position.
Also hitting .381 out on the road. Bears repeating one of 6 Rockies right now, with a higher road average than home average. Go figure. Quality hat. Now an 0-2 count. A breaking ball and then the fastball. Pool's pretty busy today. I prefer it a little hotter to jump in the pool.
Me too.
1 out, 2 on. Haven't seen Miller come close to scraping that hand today on the mound.
Well, he changed his delivery so he doesn't finish out in front and follow through as much.
That got Herman.
It's not a laughing matter after we've seen so many. And of course, a few weeks ago or 10 days ago, Nick missing time with the concussion. Go check on Herman to make sure. Where did this catch him? On the Subaru Supermo, right square in the top of the helmet. He's saying he's good. Okay, that's good news.
And hopefully he is.
Yeah.
But you know, Nick, if you remember, was able to continue on because some of the effects did not occur immediately, and that is part of why concussions are, very difficult to see initially at times, diagnose initially. 1-2. And that's going to be a base hit. Arenado around third gets a green light. Owings throw to the plate is cut off. Rockies have taken a 2-1 lead. You gotta love Ben Paulson. What a clutch hitter. This time behind in the count, and he lines a single to center field.
10th RBI of the season for Ben. And Shelby Miller thinks he can throw the changeup to him and get him out in front, but watch this on contact. how he has to take that top hand right at contact, and that's coming off the bat. That helps create some length to reach that changeup. I'm not trying to do too much with it, just dump it into center field. And now the runners in scoring position goes up for Ben. He's now 7 for 12, and also against Shelby Miller, who came into the game giving up a 389 clip with runners in scoring position.
Nice opportunity here for Tony Walters. A little better speed now at second base also, with DJ LeMahieu standing out there. Tony struck out his first time. Takes ball 1. Yeah, Paulson 10 ribbies, Huey, and 36 ABs.
I just like what he can cover any pitch. I mean, whether it's a fastball, curveball, changeup. And that was it wasn't a bad pitch from Shelby Miller. It was just a fine piece of hitting.
Kept those hands back even though he was out on the front side. 4 hits, a couple of runs in the inning for the Rockies, just 1 out. And DJ takes off for third. A hit and run was on. Trail runner Paulson also moving.
Things you can do when you have the lead. Not sure many people in the park thought, well, a hit and run, 1-0 count with your 8th place hitter. Keep the other team guessing.
I like that play. Now, a lot of people will say, conservative folks say, it's dangerous because, especially if there's nobody out, you can easily hit into a triple play if you hit a line drive. But when you're up in a game, you had fielders moving in every direction there. So many holes.
And you can't play the game scared.
No.
Yeah, if it doesn't work, people say, well, why'd you do it? Well, you know what? I'm going to take my chances.
This is popped up, and it is an infield fly rule. Batter's automatically out. 2 gone. That'll bring up Bettis.
Pitcher, Chad Bettis.
Bettis struck out his first time. Took a swing with purpose.
Swing hard in case you hit it.
Philosophies work for a lot of folks. Shelby Miller, all of a sudden, Huey's 70 pitches in.
I just looked up at that too, because he had cruised in the second inning. He only threw 7 pitches, 14 in the first. Now it's way up there.
It's 2-1 on Bettis.
Early on, there weren't many balls thrown in the total that he had thrown to home plate. Now he's just leaving it over the middle part of the plate, the fat part.
Three balls and a strike on Bettis. You can see
right now,
that pitch was low.
Yeah, and we're going to get Mike Butcher, the pitching coach, out. But I was just going to say, 3-1. I give the do not swing sign to Chad. Dare him to throw 2 strikes in a row.
He's walked 2 in the game, and coming in, remember, he had walked 15 in 19 2/3, so it's 17 walks in 22+ innings. this year for Shelby Miller. That is a bunch.
Well, that's why his whip was so high.
Three-one. Taking all the way as he should. It's 3-2. Stu Cole does a terrific job at third base. He really is a great judge of situations, when to send guys, when to hold them, when to be aggressive. Runners will be moving here. And that's ball 4. Bettis walks and the bases are jammed for Charlie Blackmon. Shelby Miller has committed a pitcher's sin. He's walked the opposing pitcher.
Center field, Charlie Blackmon.
You have to give some credit to Chad, though, taking that last pitch.
Eighth man to hit in the inning. Blackmon. Charlie hit a ball 400 feet to center field. It was caught by Chris Owings to begin the ball game, and then he walked in the third and stole a base. Outfield straight up, infield straight up. Bases full of Rockies. High, ball 1 on Charlie.
First time this season for Charlie to come to the plate with the bases loaded.
Just off the disabled list, activated in time for Friday's game. 2 hits Friday. He's on base 3 times Friday. 2 more hits last night. LeMahieu, Paulson, and Bettis on.
Cross Charlie up with the changeup.
Already action in the Arizona bullpen. Jake Barrett is up. And again, keep in mind, this is what happened to Miller in the first game. Miller came into this inning, hadn't given up a hit.
Cruising. Different pitcher than what we had seen.
2-1. Blackmon in control of the AB here, ahead 2 balls and a strike. 3-1. And one of the many great attributes of the Rockies center fielder, he will make you throw a strike.
You see the bullpen coach letting the D-backs know that Jake Barrett's loose. He just waved his cap saying if you want to, that he's ready. Charlie sitting in the catbird seat here.
That's Garvin Alston, former big league pitcher. 3-1. Ball 4. Shelby Miller just walked in a run. And he's hearing it from the Chase Field crowd. 3-1 Colorado. Trevor Story coming up.
Shortstop, Trevor Story.
Back-to-back walks for Charlie. 4th RBI this season. That'll be it.
Chip Hale is going to pull the plug on Shelby Miller. His vaunted number 2 starter after 3 2/3. And he is not happy as he walks off. loaded. Blackmon just walked against Miller to force in a run. It was Miller's 4th walk, and he had the baseball taken from him in favor of Jake Barrett. And Barrett's going to face the precocious Rockies rookie Trevor Story.
We called back from AAA Reno on April 28th. 6 strikeouts in 8 innings. Hard thrower. Throw between 95 and 97 mile an hour with this fastball and a hard slider.
And I think that plays right into the hands of Story, because we know he can turn around a fastball. And he'll be sitting dead red here. Paulson now at third. Bettis at second. Blackmon at first. 3 runs in for the Rockies. They're 2 outs in the 4th. And Story didn't see a fastball there, and he took it for strike 1.
Which is unusual for a hard throwing guy to come out of the bullpen and throw a first pitch slider. They're proud of their fastball. They like to show it off.
0-1. There's the fastball, and it's 0-2. Story, 25 at bats against Arizona this year, 5 home runs, 12 driven in. It's Arizona bullpen. Last year used more than any pen in baseball, and so far this year 14 1/3 more than anybody else in baseball. 14 1/3 more than the Rockies, who had to call down to the bullpen the 2nd most times in baseball so far.
And a lot of it because of Zach Greinke and Shelby Miller.
How about that? A Diamondback fan, he said, hey, I got all my Diamondback gear on, but I'm here to see Story. You're not alone, my friend.
I don't blame you. We're all here to watch Trevor Story.
So it's going to be another bullpen day for Arizona. They had one on Friday night. They got 7 out of Greinke yesterday. Here's the 1-2. Strike 3. Called strike 3 to end the inning. So Barrett gets Story. The Rockies send 9 to the plate in a 3-run 3rd to take the lead. It's 3-1 Colorado, middle of 4, trying to sweep the Diamondbacks.
In the top of the 4th, we go bottom 4. They're up 3-1. There's Tony Walters, and in the top half of the inning, George Jeff were talking about catching. It's not the easiest thing to do. This is a guy that's a converted middle infielder, and he's really good at framing pitches. And I asked him how he goes about that.
I feel like you just have to be an athlete. You know, put yourself in a good position. You know, prepare yourself to be for a bad pitch, you know, to put yourself to get that pitch. Still, you know, you have to have kind of a imagination about it.
I kind of like that word, and it makes me think of Jerry Weinstein, who used to say, you need to have a ball be a strike, a strike or a ball, and then you frame it, and you get the strike call.
He worked so quickly, Mark. He's ahead of Peralta, 0-2. Tony Walters has been very impressive as a young receiver. And more importantly than anything we observe, when you talk to the pitching staff for the Rockies, they love to throw to him.
I'm impressed with this pitch calling.
Ground ball to second. DJ puts a knee down. You can do that on the right side. 1 out. 1 gone. Yasmani Tomas will come up. Jeff Hoffman's back on the mound for the Albuquerque Isotopes today, and he is rolling. He's retired 13 in a row. He's got a 1-hitter as they go to the 6th in Reno. Get him some runs. Hoffman came into the ballgame with a 1.99 ERA.
Albuquerque swept Reno last night.
Had a double dip. Fastball at 93, a strike on Tomas. Single to right field his last at bat.
Now that's 11 for 14 first pitch strikes for Chad.
How about this Rockies pitching staff out on the road last 7 ball games? The starting pitchers with a 2.97 ERA. Of course, we know the contrast in that last homestand. They had a 9.72 ERA in their last homestand. But the Rockies pitchers have been great in the first 2 games of this series. Chatwood didn't give up a run. Russin last night, 5 innings of shutout baseball. Only 1 run allowed by the starting pitchers. Now is the home run by Drury in the first against Chat.
And then the 11 games out on the road, just a meager 220 batting average against.
2-2. That's a good pitch. And Nolan will throw out Yasmani. 2 gone.
Well, fans, many plans start at just 8 games and $111. You can guarantee the Yankees series and the summer fireworks games with the 15-game pick-a plan.
Chris Herman with 2 outs and nobody on. Fly ball to right field, his first time up. So on Friday night, Huey, Robbie Ray got run after 4 innings. He gave up 5 runs on 7 hits. Barrett threw an inning, Delgado an inning, Burgos an inning. Keith Hessler, who's been designated, gave up 3 runs in an inning. Tyler Clippard gave up a run in an inning. The point is they had to eat up 5 innings, and now here 2 days later, they're going to have to eat up 5 1/3.
The only thing that helps them is their first off day in 20 days tomorrow. That's the only thing that's in Chip Hale's favor. But it also, you throw that many innings as a bullpen, it hurts you in July and August. Even with the off day, you might get the arms right, but still, that's a lot of times getting up, making throws, and the cumulative effect of it all.
0-2. Just missed. Well, again, last year they led all of baseball in innings thrown out of their bullpen, and they're leading by a bunch so far this year, despite the acquisitions of Greinke and Miller and Patrick Corbett back for a full year.
Right, you think they would be the horses.
That's a base hit for Herman.
It's a study in contrast between the 2 starters. Shelby Miller laboring, 79 pitches at 3 2/3. For Chad, 53 pitches, and there's no repercussions from him taking that walk and then having to be out on the bases for 5 to 7 minutes. Even though he wasn't really running, he's still out there. He's on the balls of his feet, thinking that, oh, I might have to run at any moment.
Owings fouls that one off into the second deck. And a ground ball to third. Nifty pickup by Nolan. Special. Rockies lead 3-1. Cargo to lead off in the fifth. One trying to sweep the Diamondbacks. They have not done that since 2004. They've only done it 2 times. They did it the first series the Diamondbacks ever played, 1998. Remember that one well. Coors Light Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Clean, Crisp Coors Light. Rockies finished April for the first time in a while under 500. However, perhaps that is foreshadowing of good things to come, because the last time the Rockies did finish April under 500 was 2010, and they went on to have a winning season. Cargo, a walk and a sharp single to left. He started the 3-run rally in the 4th. He's up against Jake Barrett in relief of Shelby Miller. Good news for Shelby Miller, though. I'll share with you in a moment, Huey. That's a strike. Shelby Miller came in with an 8.69 ERA. He gave up 3 runs in 3 2/3, so his ERA actually went down to 8.49.
That's why you traded your #1 prospect last year.
Hey, listen, he's got, you know,
Overall
great makeup and a great arm, and you assume he'll figure it out. Line out, and Cargo's retired. We know how great Greinke's been. It's just another reminder that the game is played not necessarily by names, it's played by players. You know what I mean by that?
Sure. I mean, you could. You know, last year it was the San Diego Padres. Look at all these trades that they did. They brought in a lot of great names, this, that, and the other thing. Didn't work out. And then this winter, the Arizona was, they got Zach Greinke, 6-year deal, paying him $200 million. Oh, Shelby Miller coming in. And Patrick Corbett. You know what? The game still played 60 feet 6 inches, 90 feet to the bases.
One and one on Nolan. It's popped up, foul ground, and it's going to be over the top of and land on the top of the Rockies dugout. 1 and 2. Nolan, an RBI single to right in the 4th to tie up the game, drove in Cargo. job keeping the AB going.
Laughing, just fouling that pitch off. And for Nolan, 10 strikeouts, 10 walks.
Gosselin makes the play, 2 outs.
Left fielder, Gerardo Parra.
2 gone. That'll bring up Gerardo Parra. Gerardo hit it on the screws his last time up, lined out to right field, but Peralta was positioned perfectly. Parra hit in 6 consecutive games, also ground ball to second this afternoon. Hits are even at 4, the runs are not. Rockies up 3-1.
Gerardo squared around like he was going to bunt. He saw the third baseman, Brandon Drury, creeping in, kind of shaking his head, said, it's all right. Even if I laid it down, I would still beat it out. But it wasn't a strike. It's just like the way he plays the game.
Yep, this ball's hit well to right field, way back, and gone. Home run, Gerardo Parra. Number 3 for Parra. The heck with a bunt. I'll hit a bomb.
I like that swing better.
So does he. 7-game hitting streak, 4-1 Rockies.
Well, I was just messing around, acting like I was going to bunt. I'll go ahead and leave the yard. Up. An inner third on the Subaru Supermo. Everything is connected in his swing. There's nothing that was off balance about it at all. He takes it out into the pool area.
Second career home run at a ballpark he used to call home. David John LeMahieu at the plate with a 1-strike count. Singleton scored in the 4th, and this one's not going to get down. He hit it hard. Peralta's there. The Rockies tack on a run on the Gerardo Parra big fly. And as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning, it's Colorado 4 and Arizona 1. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. With my partner Jeff Houston and Mark Stout. Rockies up 4-1. I'm Drew Goodman. Fly ball center field on the first pitch to Nick Ahmed, and Blackman's got it. And there's one out in the bottom of the 5th inning. Gerardo Parra has given the Rockies a 4-1 lead with his 3rd home run. Marco says kaboom. A lot of power at that little guy. Parra for president.
I like the hashtag sweep.
Jake Lamb's going to pinch hit for Jake Barrett with 1 out in the 5th inning. Delgado will be the next on the hill for Arizona, and that's a first pitch strike.
Jake Lamb 1 for 4 pinch hitting in 2016.
And Lamb pulls the outside slider, and it's an easy play for LeMahieu. 2 outs.
The Colorado Rockies home run for the Homeless 5K is Sunday, May 8th. Go to Rockies.com/5K to register today.
2 gone. Phil Gosselin. An infield hit in the 3rd, also a fly ball to left field. Missed a good portion of last year with a left thumb injury. Came up with the Braves. He's part of that Tuki Toussaint deal with Atlanta.
One of those.
Arizona and the Braves been doing a lot of commerce.
Don't you feel like there's certain clubs that you just have that kind of natural fit with? I think for Arizona and Atlanta, it's that way.
Sometimes it's relationships between general managers. Dougie has the attendance for us today on a pretty day at Chase Field, 25,458.
But that does not include the dogs that were here, right, Doug?
No, hold on. Just bear with me.
Okay.
858 canines. They were trying to break the Guinness Book of World Records for most dogs, most pets, or most dogs. Most dogs at a public venue. They came up a little bit short. Chad Bettis jogs off. That was a quick and efficient inning. 1, 2, 3, less than 10 pitches. 6. How about that? That'll work. 4-1 Rockies.
A 4-1 lead. Want to flash back to this day 25 years ago in 1991. Just unbelievable to think about. Nolan Ryan at age 44 throws his final 7th no-hitter. 7 no-hitters. No hits the Blue Jays. And our own Jeff Houston was playing shortstop in that game. Hugh, I always ask you if you made a key play or not, as Boone Logan throws a baseball to me. Oh, I missed it. But you didn't miss when you were in the game, right?
No, I had, I think, one pop-up maybe and maybe a ground ball, but very rarely do you go into a game or you think, well, you know, we're playing at the major league level, but it was really a game where Nolan overmatched Toronto. And they had a great team. We had Robbie Alomar, a few other guys. Glenn Allen Hill was on that club. But it was just really a man against boys that day.
Well, it was a lot of times it was a man against boys when Nolan was on the hill. You played behind a couple of Nolan Ryan no-hitters.
Yeah, 6 no-hitters, 7th no-hitter, his 300th win. I've just been blessed to be able to play this game that long and be a part of that, part of Cal Ripken when he broke Lou Gehrig's record and started at third base that night. You know what? I'm just so much fun to be able to think, you know, 31 years now into this game and think back some of the memories. I remember coming off the game or coming off that field with Steve Buechele that day, and it was the second inning. We looked at each other and said, it's over. They don't stand a chance tonight.
You know, Arizona, speaking of had a guy that's in the house, by the way, today, Randy Johnson, who sometimes you could tell in the first inning that he had no-hit stuff. This ball's on the ground to short, and Paulson's retired. There is the big unit. And you could just tell early, it didn't mean he was going to throw a no-hitter. You know, the Rockies, especially in 2010, and obviously he did against the Atlanta Braves, but Ubaldo was the same way. There were times you and I would look at each other and say, man, they may get a hit, but it's going to be a broken bat type of thing, a bleeder somewhere. But he had, there's a few guys that just can overwhelm a lineup, and obviously Nolan Ryan was one.
Yeah, and when you're coming to the ballpark, you think something special could happen that night. And it was that way with Nolan, it was that way with RJ. And it's fun. It's fun. It's very rare that you have that experience at the major league level. And you know what? For me, like I said, I've just been blessed to be a part of a lot of special events.
Yeah, you certainly have been. Some all-time historic events. Tony Walters with a 1-0 count against Randall Delgado. Third pitcher utilized by Chip Hale. Shelby Miller had a no-hitter going, speaking of no-hitters, into the 4th inning. And then the Rockies got 3 against him, and he never saw the end of that 4th inning. He was gone in favor of Jake Barrett, who got the final out. Miller walked Chad Bettis to load the bases with 2 outs, and then he walked in a run when he lost Charlie Blackmon. And that was the end of his afternoon. It's 3-0. And now 3-1 on Walters. Strikeout and a pop out for Tony this afternoon. Rockies up 4-1 here in the top of the 6th inning. Ball 4. Now Delgado, not a starting pitcher, but you have pitcher meetings. Bettis up there, and you assume obviously Bettis going to be bunting. But here's something that you wonder, did Delgado pay attention to the fact that the catcher for the Rockies can really run? He's got 3 stolen bases.
Well, if you're Colorado, you hope not. You hope he was just kind of glossing over all that information and say, oh, you know, I'll worry about it if I get out there.
And by the way, that check on him isn't an indication, okay, he did pay attention. And he may have. I'm sure Randall did. But that is done frequently to see if the pitcher, especially with 1 out, is going to reveal early. He has that he's going to bunt, and he takes a strike. We know Walt is a very creative and aggressive guy, especially with the lead. He loves the slug bunt. We saw him attempt with Tony Walters early in the ball game a hit and run with runners at 1st and 2nd.
Well, the slug bunt is effective if you show bunt early enough, like Chad is. So you show the bunt early, you choke up on the bat, and then if you do, you just slide the hands up and try to get the ball down on the ground.
Just want to take advantage of every opportunity to keep adding on. Diamondbacks have a potent offense. The Rockies have been able to keep at bay in the first 2 ball games, and so far this afternoon held them to 3 runs in this series. Walters takes off, and the slug bunt was on.
Had some openings in the infield. Nick Ahmed had moved over towards second base with Tony taking off.
Safe call from Tim Timmons. Delgado had a clean inning on Friday night, facing the bottom of the Rockies lineup. Blackman on deck, 1-2 on Bettis, and he swings and misses as he pulled the bunt back. 2 outs. And here's another great opportunity now for just a straight steal.
And I would like to see if he's going to do it. Go first pitch.
Center fielder.
If it's not first, go on the second one. You know, Charlie doesn't mind hitting behind in the count. Try to get another runner in scoring position.
And the only downside is if he's thrown out, you start with Blackman in the 7th inning. It's ideal, especially with a 3-run lead. Not going. And it's taken low. Charlie, deep drive to center that was caught by Owings. A walk and a stolen base in the 3rd, and then a walk to drive in a run in the 4th. And a great return to the lineup off the DL for Charlie Blackman here in Arizona. Walter's not going, and this is fouled off. I would say this about Charlie, one of the most cerebral players I've been around. And for a guy with a great sense of humor, when he gets to the ballpark, it is all business.
There's a time for the humor, and then there's a time for the work. And I think Charlie separates the two once he walks in those doors.
2-1. You like Tony going here?
I might wait one more pitch just to let Charlie have a chance to do something where he doesn't feel like, oh, I've got to protect him.
Peralta shaded a little bit toward that gap in right center field. See that on the view of the outfield. Walter's not going, and it's pulled past
Watch it, EY.
That was very athletic for a guy that is very athletic, but he's a little older than me. A little older now, and EY had to leap. So I've been accusing EY. I was chatting with him for a while this morning. I said, you've been closet lifting on us.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah. Not letting anybody, he said push-ups, all push-ups.
Push-ups.
2-2. Off the end of the bat. Charlie last year hit 17 home runs. 2014 he hit 19. Looking for #1 here in 2016. Rockies made Miller work, Huey, in the first 3 2/3. They're making Delgado work here in the 6th inning.
Just Charlie alone. 3 straight foul balls.
Three and two. Story hoping for a chance to swing the bat here against Delgado in the 6th. So you get movement from Walters here on a 3-2 with 2 outs.
Paul Goldschmidt has already come off the bag. Then he'll back up when the pitch is delivered.
And a strikeout. A Blackman will end the inning. Rockies leave Walters at first, middle of inning number 6. Colorado leading the Diamondbacks 4-1 at Chase Field. Check some news and notes around the big leagues. So we've moved to the month of May. Happy May, everybody. The National League West, for the first time in their history since the Arizona Diamondbacks joined the division in 1998, nobody's above 500 at the conclusion of April. Everybody's beating up on one another, and the Rockies are in first place in a virtual tie to begin play. Everything's okay and up to date, I guess, in Chicago with the Cubs, the best record in baseball. The White Sox are out front. And the Red Sox looking to sweep a Yankees team that is looking decidedly older by the day, Jeff Houston.
I think there's a few guys that have their ARP card.
And a base hit. Brandon Drury got a hanging breaking pitch and hit it out in the 1st inning. Got a hanging slider there, it looked like, and ripped it to left. A leadoff single against Chad Bettis in the 6th in front of Paul Goldschmidt.
For Chad, coming into this inning, he had 7 ground ball outs, 5 fly outs, 3 strikeouts. And even with that first pitch ball to Brandon Drury, still 16 for 20 in first pitch strikes.
One 1-0 on Goldschmidt. Ground ball to second and a strikeout. And a strike. Quick update on Jeff Hoffman again. He had one earlier. Jeff Hoffman now through 7 innings in Reno has allowed 3 hits, and that's it. No runs, no walks. He has struck out 6. Lowered his ERA to 1.52. They're scoreless, by the way, Albuquerque and the Reno Aces. 1-1 outside, 2-1. pretty good line.
Albuquerque came into the day 14-9.
Hoffman probably done. He's at 99 pitches, but what a performance.
He has not disappointed for sure. Especially that sort of ERA in the PCL.
Best hitters league, wouldn't you say, of any minor league? And I'm not just talking about AAA. Any league. Where pitchers' ERAs go to die. He's got a 152.
If you have close to a 4 ERA, that's great.
Yep. 3-1 on Goldschmidt here in the 6th inning. 3-2.
Now do you throw him another slider? I sure would be tempted to.
Just don't over-amp it, because he's hung a couple today. Got hurt by Drury.
I think that was more of that curveball.
He went slider, and it's lifted foul and out of play.
That goes back to the mindset of a pitcher when a guy like Paul Goldschmidt is at the plate. Any of the great hitters, Nolan or Cargo, pitchers say, oh, this has to be my best slider I've ever thrown. Instead of just throw it like you normally do. Just let that action take over. That's what's going to get the hitter out.
Usually goes the other way. Look at Chad. 161 the 3rd time through.
Sometimes the 3rd time through, you'll see that number in the 300s.
To your point, Jeff, the average ERA in the PCL is 4.28.
Yeah,
so anything south of 4.28, you're better than the norm.
And now you're talking below 2 for Hoffman. Closer to 1.5.
Another 3-2 on Goldschmidt. See ya later. Frozen with a slider. And Paul knew it. 1 out. That is strikeout number 4 for Bettis.
The lock-up slider. Inside on the Subaru strike zone. Locks him up. Goldschmidt, all he can do is agree with Jordan Baker, the home plate umpire, walk back to the dugout.
Here's Peralta, strikeout, ground ball to second. Yard goats got rained out in Richmond again.
Didn't have a chance to beat the Flying Squirrels.
But Asheville was in action. They have swept a doubleheader from the West Virginia Power today.
Those are great minor league names.
This ball is lined to center, a base hit. And for the first time today, 2 men aboard against Bettis, and the tying run will come up in Tomas. Look at that. That's ratio.
Just attacking hitters. 17 for 22 now. First pitch strikes.
So this year, Bettis in his first outing down here in Arizona worked into the 6th inning. Went 5 1/3, gave up 5 runs, 7 hits. That was his shortest outing of the year. Next outing against San Diego at home, he went 7 innings, gave up 2 runs, only 1 of which was earned. 6 shutout innings in Chicago. 6 innings in Cincinnati, gave up 3 runs. That's low. His last outing at home against Pittsburgh, he left with 2 outs in the 7th inning, got painted a little bit, and ended up giving up 4 runs on 6 hits. Throwing 114 pitches. Point is, Bettis is going to give you in today's game what is considered good length each time out. Ground ball deep in the hole, and it's off of Story's glove. That'll score a run. A base hit by Tomas, and it's 4-2. 3 singles here in the 6th inning.
All 3 balls have been hit sharply. This ball on the ground. Trevor lays out, glances off the glove. Here you don't, if you catch it, you're not thinking you're going to be able to get anybody out. It's just knock the ball down and keep that guy from scoring.
Arizona, that stat jumps off the screen for me for a couple of reasons. One, their first hit with runners in scoring position. But here you are in the 6th inning of game 3, and they've had only 9 opportunities to hit with runners in scoring position.
They had come into this series hitting .206 with runners in scoring position. That was 27th in the major leagues.
Herman takes low, ball 1. Herman, a fly ball to right field and a base hit. Rockies have Story positioned right up the middle. 1st and 2nd, there's 1 out. And that misses. 2-0. That was borderline. It was just stolen by Tony Walters, and it was borderline.
Say the same thing. Just watch the subtle movement of the glove pulling it up in the zone. Right there. Just a little, just enough to sell that for a strike.
He's firing up Bettis. Make a pitch here. And he gets a bouncer, and it's through the left side. And it's going to score another run. Despite a great effort by Arenado, it's 4-3.
A hit in no man's land by Chris Herman. We have the shift on. Nolan has to play closer to the bag because of the base runner at 2nd base. I mean, closer to 3rd base. So that's the bag I was referencing. How close did he come on the Subaru Supermo? Real close.
Now Chris Owings. Justin Miller is up for the Rockies.
He just got up. And there was nobody until 30 seconds ago.
In the 5th inning, Bettis worked a 6-pitch 1-2-3 frame. 4 hits in the inning. The only guy he got out was Goldschmidt, freezing him on a 3-2 slider. One ball, one strike on Owens. South Carolina native.
Be quick on the turn if he hits it on the ground. He's only hit into one double play on the season. There's Chris.
2-2. This should be two, even with Owens running. Yeah, maybe not. Wow. He got off the line. I mean, you know he can run, but that was shocking. Out of the right side of the box, he had a line shot one hopper right at DJ LeMahieu. And the Rockies still unable to turn it.
Everybody's kind of shaking their head in disbelief because of the way he got down the line.
Walt's waiting, Bettis waiting for a review, and I don't think they're going to challenge this. He's on
Foot
the bag.
on the bag.
Clearly safe.
Tim Timmons with the right call. A little more pressure on Tony Walters behind the plate with the base runner at third if you call for the break-in pitch.
Ahmed fouls it off. Chad trying to keep the Rockies in front here in the sixth with two outs, runners at first and third. He timed it in the truck. Owens got up the line from the right side in 4 flat. Bunt attempt goes foul.
And anything under 4-2 from the right side is considered average. So 4 flat, you're talking about on a grade of 2 to 8. He's a 70 runner. Maybe even a 75. But that's just flying down the line.
Tony tried to steal that pitch.
Be careful of a delay steal or a straight out steal from Owens. Trying to steal that, tried to steal a run from the guy at third base and Tomas.
1-2, and it's in the air to center field. Charlie's got it, but Arizona puts together a 2-run rally behind 4 singles. The Rockies still out in front, 4-3 as we go to the 7th. Trevor Story, Carlos Gonzalez, Nolan Arenado coming up next. Thank you very much. The Rockies had a 4-1 lead. It's now 4-3 as Arizona was able to chip away in the bottom of the 6th against Chad Bettis. Drew Goodman, Jeff Houston, Mark Stout. Trevor Story to face Randall Delgado. Second inning of work for Delgado. Shelby Miller lasted just 3 2/3. Barrett went an inning and a third. Now Delgado facing Story, who's 0 for 3. 0 for 2 career-wise against Delgado. That obviously came in the first series when the Rockies opened the season down here at Chase Field. This ball is hit to left field, not deep enough, and it'll be caught out there by Tomas. Andrew Chafin is throwing and has been throwing in Arizona's bullpen. Cargo's coming up. See if Chip Hale goes and gets Delgado here in a 1-run game. Delgado's kind of looking over there. Goldschmidt comes in. I think this may be the stall. Maybe not, though. Hale's sitting down.
He just sat back down. Definitely would have done it if Trevor had reached base.
Cargo a walk, a single, and a run scored. And he lined out hard to first base. Takes a strike. Cargo with 23 career home runs against the Diamondbacks. 4th among active players. Another Gonzalez on that list. Adrian.
A lot of hit lists.
And that's going to be a base hit the other way, as Cargo has 5 hits in the last 2 ball games. A little extra sleep and a day off.
Take it any day of the week. And then you also beat the shift by not hitting the ball hard, just hitting it on the other side. That pitch you away, you hit it away.
So that'll bring up Nolan, candidate for Player of the Month in the National League.
The Rockies had a couple players on that list. Trevor Story was the other one.
Yep, Trevor's a candidate. Nolan, an RBI single in the 4th, 1 for 3. Outside. He's the only qualified National League third baseman. When we say qualified, enough plate appearances at third base this year who has yet to commit an error.
Glad you said that. If something happens and you jinx him.
No. This ball hit a long way to left. Stay fair. It will be. 2-run home run, Nolan Arenado. How large was that? The counterpunch from the Rockies. 6-3 Colorado. Nolan's 11th of the year.
And the counterpunch was, think about how hard last half inning Arizona had to work for their 2 runs. It was a couple seeing eye, one off of Trevor's glove, the other one Nolan just couldn't hardly get to. And now you hit the base hit to left, swing of the bat, boom. Yeah, that 3-run lead again.
Such a dangerous team.
Right-handed batters or left-handed batters, it doesn't matter. Chip Hale say, well, I don't bring the lefty in because Cargo, he gets on. Well, I leave the right-hander to face Nolan. What does it matter? He hits another home run.
Colorado 6 and the Diamondbacks 3. Pitching change coming in Arizona. Their lead whittled to a single run last inning. No problem. Cargo a base hit. Nolan a 2-run home run. Arenado 11 home runs, 25 driven in. He's had a 3 RBI day. And now Andrew Chafin is aboard. The left-hander to face Gerardo Parra. Parra hit a home run his last time up.
12 appearances, excuse me, for Andrew Chafin. That's tied for 10th in the National League. 134 whip. One for Chafin, fastball, 91 to 95, slider, and an occasional changeup.
At least so far, the interesting number is Chafin's allowing lefties to hit 286, righties 238. You'd think those numbers would be reversed. Home run leaders in baseball, Nolan on top, then Story. And think about this. You know the guy who hits in the 3-hole for the Rockies, who's hitting close to 350. You know he's going to hit a bunch of home runs. Cargo's got 4 right now. I mean, he can go hit 8 in a week.
You saw what he did after June 4th last year. Yeah, I like that update. Still good at baseball. Yep.
Nick, that's pretty accurate. Don't think he's not going to be good for a long time either. Rockies have overtaken Arizona, by the way, in the home run derby team-wise. They have 38 home runs. The Diamondbacks at 37. Cardinals and Baltimore with 34. Mets next on the list with 33. 2-1 on Gerardo. Big chopper to Goldschmidt. 2 outs.
Back to the home run swing of Nolan on the Subaru Supermo.
Second baseman, DJ.
Front hips clear, allowing the hands to get there. Had to drop the back right elbow closer to his body because the pitch was so far inside. And that's the hardest pitch to try to keep fair. And that's why Nolan's waiting and waiting at home plate.
Let me correct something. The Rockies have 39 home runs to lead baseball. DJ 1 for 3. Dodgers beat the Padres today 1-0. That snapped a 6-game Dodger losing streak. Rockies going to San Diego.
Well, they needed Kershaw to do it.
After the ball game.
Clayton Kershaw against Drew Pomeranz.
Drew Pomeranz has thrown the ball very well for the Padres. It reminds me of the great line by Tim McCarver on the Hall of Famer Bob Gibson. McCarver said that Gibson was the luckiest pitcher he ever saw. He always pitched on the days the other team didn't score any runs. It's kind of like Kershaw.
It is. Well, it goes back to, you kind of think, well, if Kershaw's out there, there's a chance for a no-hitter. He has that stuff.
And Kershaw naturally drove in the only run. Last time that happened in a 1-0 game, you see Fernando in 1984 at the Vet. 1-2 on DJ inside. 2-2. Swung and missed. DJ, if he hustles, has a chance to get to first. He did hustle, but a good recovery by Chris Herman. In the inning, the Rockies get a base hit from Cargo, and then Nolan strikes. Tried to go inside again. Not a good idea. 6-3 Rockies. Middle of 7 on a Sunday in the desert. Cooney Lexus look back. Gerardo Parra has hit a home run today. That came in the top of the 5th inning, extending the Rockies' lead to 4-1 against Arizona. And then when Arizona got close, 4-3, Nolan said, no problem, I'll take care of things. He kept it inside the foul pole. And a 2-run shot as he's greeted at home plate by Carlos Gonzalez. Rockies lead 6-3. Our Cooney Lexus look back as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Rockies will send Chad Bettis out for the 7th. It'll be 9-1-2. Ricky Weeks is going to pinch hit for Chafin. And then the top of the order, Phil Gosselin, Brandon Drury. Bettis' only rough inning, the 6th inning, gave up 2 runs on 4 singles.
That's what I was thinking when Chad went back out. He's got to be thinking, all right, you get a little second wind here.
I like what Walt's doing. Walt's acknowledging that you're our guy.
Sure.
You're our guy. We believe in you, and we want you to pitch deep in ball games.
I think he acknowledged it more than any was that last start against Pittsburgh when he let him go out there, try to get through that. Yeah, he was tacked on a few more earned runs, but it was Chad's to get through that inning. He just didn't quite have enough left in the tank to do it. But now immediately goes back out there for that first pitch strike.
0-1 on Weeks, and Weeks rips one to left, a base hit. That'll bring up Gosselin, 1 for 3, an infield hit back in the 3rd. And Walt, top of the order coming up, and how that ball was struck. He's gonna, my guess, turn it over to Justin Miller. So Bettis goes 6+. He walks off with a 6-3 lead. Here's our Kubota pitching performance. Chad Bettis looking for his 3rd victory of the year. The book not completed because he's responsible for Ricky Weeks at first, but 9 hits, 3 runs, and 6+ innings. The thing about Chad now, 6 starts, Huey. He has struck out 26, walked only 8 6 starts.
Just controlled a lot of things. It also had 8 ground ball outs today, 3 flyouts, and now it's Justin Miller's turn to come in and going to clean up this inning.
Phil Gosselin, the first pitch is in there for a strike.
2nd appearance in the series for Justin. Pitched on Friday night, 1 inning, couple strikeouts.
Justin Miller Grew up in the Rangers organization, reached the big leagues with the Tigers, now a Rocky. Weeks at first.
Tyler Clippard is up in the Arizona bullpen.
Slider that sat up. Fortunately, it was hit foul by Gosselin.
Colorado, they have a right-hander and a left-hander up. As you see Tyler Clippard in Arizona, the left-hander Boone Logan. Carlos Estevez for the Rockies.
If it gets to Peralta, you'll see Boone. One and two. Walters sets up shop on the outside corner. And that's a base hit. And it gets past Parra, just ate him up. Weeks to third, and now two in scoring position. That'll be the third error on Gerardo.
They're caught in between land. Do I come get it? And then once he realized he could not catch it in the air, just didn't leave himself enough room. Single and E7. Ball hit hard to Gosselin, and then just played it back too far in his body. Those are the ones you have to get over in front of. Once you know you're not going to catch it, just knock it down.
Now the guy who's been swinging the bat perhaps best of anybody in the lineup is Brandon Drury, and he swings and misses. Today, certainly that's been the case. A home run, his fifth in his last 12 games. That came in the first inning against Bettis. And then a hard single to left in the sixth inning. He scored 2 runs, nobody out. 2 in scoring position. The Rockies up 6-3 in the 7th. Cargo in foul ground, not going to be able to get there.
Well, fans, the first 10,000 through the gates on Sunday, May 15th, will receive a Colorado Rockies plastic ball and bat set. It's courtesy of MLB Play Ball Weekend.
Couple Rockies fans. I say this a lot down here with the proximity to Denver. Late in the snowbird season, though it would apply this weekend with the weather we're having back home. There's a number of Rockies fans in attendance at Chase Field. Paul Goldschmidt on deck. This is a sticky situation, to say the least. 0-2 on Drury. He located that slider well. It's a chase kind of slider. Took it off the plate. A lot of times you back that up with a fastball out there and you get a tardy swing.
There's something outer third for sure. Even a fastball or a slider.
It was a fastball and he got him at 94. Big strikeout. 1 gone with runners at second and third, and here comes Goldschmidt.
That was textbook pitching. You get ahead 0-2, throw the slider off the plate, and then fastball away on the Subaru Supermo. Tardy swing by Brandon Drury.
Goldschmidt, ground ball to second and 2 strikeouts. Slider just inside. That's 1-0.
Backed up slider inside of the Subaru strike zone.
Two and 0. Gotta figure
you're gonna get
this will be the last hitter for Miller.
Yeah, you get
Peralta on deck. Boone Logan's ready. Carlos Estevez with him. 3-0.
Looking at the numbers, Peralta 1 for 8, 125 against Boone Logan. Careful, they'll have the green light.
So a 4-pitch walk, and Goldschmidt loads the bases for David Peralta. He represents the tying run at first base.
He's just making sure he was loose. Waiting for the phone call and the confirmation from Steve Foster.
So Boone Logan, with 1 out, will come on to face David Peralta, try to get the Rockies out of this mess. Diamondbacks are up 6-3. There's 1 out, and the Diamondbacks have loaded the bases here in the 7th. Boone Logan's on to face David Peralta. The day after every Rockies victory, get 50% off your online order at Papa John's. Use the promo code ROXWIN at papajohns.com. Boone Logan is set to go. Boone working on 7 straight scoreless appearances. He's been very good this year. And against lefties and righties, it's been about the same stuff. Lefties hitting 143, righties hitting 154 against him.
Left-handers just 3 for 21 against Boone. Weeks.
Yeah, Weeks is at third. He singled. Gosselin singled. He's at second, and Goldschmidt just walked on 4 pitches.
Peralta 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position with the bases loaded this year.
And the fastball's inside, ball 1. Boone's had the real good slider typically this year. And he misses with another fastball. It's 2-0. Two and one as he got the slider on the inside corner. Barely. Maybe not, according to Subaru Strike Zone.
But Tony Walters has the frame with the thumb down to buy that.
It's one you don't always get because of the fact that he's set up outside, and that slider's fouled off. Osmani Tomas is on deck.
Carlos Estevez is still just waiting in the bullpen.
There's Miguel Castro. Miguel is been throwing the baseball, coming along. He's on the DL. And that is strike 3. Frozen with a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Out number 2 as Peralta walks off.
There can be no arguing on that pitch.
And Walt's going to piecemeal it. He's going to go to the right-hander with Tomas coming up.
Had to have been looking for the slider. He threw it 2-0, but finishes off with the 94 fastball at the knees. Just catches Peralta looking.
Just a glance back. He never said anything. 2 outs, bases loaded. Estevez up next. Have a chance to interact with some very special guests every Tuesday on Toyota Talk Takeover. And in honor of Mother's Day coming up next weekend, we have Nolan Arenado's mom, the charismatic Billy Arenado, taking control of our Twitter account this coming Tuesday when the Rockies take on the Padres. So make sure to tune in. Tweet your questions for Billy to @RootSports_RM during Tuesday's game again in San Diego. So here we go. Tomas against Carlos Estevez. Bases loaded and 2 outs. And this one's fouled off. They faced yesterday, and Estevez got Tomas to pop to second. Walt said after the ball game, as you glanced at the numbers, he was really impressed with how Estevez bounced back after giving up the 2-run home run to Drury. He got the next 3 hitters.
And those are the type of innings for a young kid that you could give up 4 or 5 runs.
Well, he's showing confidence in Estevez. He's putting him right back in a big, big situation.
I talked to Carlos in the dugout today, and what a great kid he is. He just owned up to it. He said everything was good after that one bad mistake that I had to Drury, where I let the ball come back over. I did not hit my spot.
Time called by Tony Walters. That's why you saw Jordan Baker just point down at the catcher. It was not called by the hitter Tomas. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bottom of the 7th inning. Tomas stayed off that fastball. It's 2-1. He's had a good ball game, 2 for 3, including a base hit in the 6th inning to drive in a run. 5 home runs, 13 RBIs for Tomas. 2nd year in the big leagues, came from Cuba.
He got away with one there, did Carlos. That's right in the middle, heart of the Subaru strike zone.
Slider or heater, Huey? 2-2.
I think you have either, but it's more about the location than the pitch that you throw. You'll see Tony set up, I'm sure, just right on the black away from Tomas. You're asking for a slider.
No, he fooled him and he struck him out at 98. Job. What a job by Carlos Estevez. Arizona loaded the bases with 1 out. Peralta strikeout victim to Logan, and Estevez fans Tomas. 6-3 Colorado off to the 8th. He can't give him, he gives an indication it's going to be a slider.
He got me too, because that's what I said. Once I saw him rub his glove down on the dirt, I thought it was going to be a slider. So that's the subtleties between a pitcher and a catcher also not giving away a pitch so it can be relayed to the hitter.
And when was the last time the Rockies had a guy throwing in the upper 90s in the 7th inning?
I also like the confidence that Walt showed in this kid.
Love it.
He gives up the 2-run home run last night to tie up the ball game. What does he have to come in and inherit today? Bases loaded. with Tomas up there. He strikes him out into the inning.
And a big tip of the cap again to Boone Logan. He came in, he fell behind 2-0 against a dangerous hitter in Peralta, 300 hitter with power. There's a bunt attempt by Ben Paulson, and he froze, came back, and ends up freezing Peralta on a 2-2 fastball. Tyler Clippard is aboard again. Rockies got after him yesterday. It's his 500th career game for a guy that's been a fixture in the back end of games.
Long time with the Washington Nationals. Pitching in the 8th inning.
This is popped up on the right side, and Goldschmidt takes it. So Ben is retired, and that'll bring up Tony Walters.
Well, fans, the 2016 Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot is here. Head to Rockies.com/vote to choose your stars and send them to the All-Star Game on July 12th in San Diego.
So here's Tony. We throw that every sport now, you can't just be a smart guy. You have to have high basketball IQ, baseball IQ. Tony's a smart guy. But that did show, as you described, his acumen to make sure Gosselin, if he's going to hand off potentially the pitch through a signal to the hitter, he pats the ground, which is the ultimate sign for a breaking pitch. You're not going to pat the ground if you're going to see a fastball. You want a guy to bounce a fastball. And he got the 98-mile-an-hour heater, and he threw it past Yasmani Tomas. 1-1 on Tony Walters.
For Estevez, it's just his 5th game in the big leagues.
But he has an intellect to go along with arm talent that the Rockies were really pleased with. Not only, I mean, throughout, it's not like he just showed up at spring training. They didn't know about the kid. They're watching him grow in their system. But then he demonstrated it at spring training at the highest level. 1-2 on Walters, and this is rolled to first, 2 outs.
Christian Adames will pinch hit for Carlos.
Pinch hit for Carlos Estevez. Number 18.
So Adames,
Christian Adames,
with 2 outs and nobody on. Chad Qualls will handle the 8th inning. Christian takes a strike from Clippard. So the book closed on Chad Bettis. Another quality start, 6 innings, 3 runs, 9 hits, didn't walk a batter as we discussed. 4 strikeouts. Ricky Weeks is in left field now, and he makes the catch. 1-2-3 inning for Clippard. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Rockies 6, Arizona 3.
of the club, and we've got a unique countdown of the top 5 moments from April. Also a special guest from the 2007 World Series team, and our first look at the good, the bad, the spilly, and the sully. And that guest from the 2007 World Series team made his Major League debut on this day with the Rockies back in 2004, retired in 2013. You'll recognize Brad Haupt.
When somebody asked me, do I miss baseball, I said, well, I miss when I was good. Now, whether I was good or not, leave it to anybody else's deal, but in my mind, there was a time where I felt like I'm in the batter's box, that guy knows I'm in, and he doesn't want me in here right now. And of course you miss those moments because those are special, and you worked hard to get those and to earn those and to earn that thought process that there's a lot that went into it. Yeah, do I miss that? Of course.
And guys, you'll hear from Brad Haupt on the club, 118 homers with the Rockies, an all-star, and on that 2007 World Series team. That'll be in the club after the game.
Yeah, one of my all-time favorite Rockies. I know I speak for you in that regard. What a class guy, and he had a terrific career. Here's the 0-1, Qualls to Herman, and positioned up the middle. Story, 1 out. Good hustle by Herman, man, flying up the line.
Good play by Trevor to backhand, come up with the strong throw. But to finish your thought on Brad, he's also the teammate that everybody loved to play with.
Yep.
Honest. Good hit.
He was a guy that always had, and you'll hear perhaps in the conversation we had during the club after the ball game, he always had the same personality. He's truly, I know it's a cliche in baseball, you don't know if the guy was 0 for 4, 4 for 4 in the clubhouse after the game. That was Brad. Outside ball 1.
And not every teammate is like that. I had a few that, you know, if the club lost, but they went 4 for 4, they were dancing, you know, in the streets.
Guys noticed that, I know. Here's the 1-0 on Owens, outside, 2-0.
Chad Qualls sitting at 172 holds in his career. That would put him 3rd among active pitchers, 16th all time.
See the list of guys active that he's up there with. Chopper, Nolan's got it, and oh my goodness. Who does that? Anybody else going to try to gather themselves, but he knows he can't throw out Owens if he gathers himself. So falling away, he flips it sidearm, got you anyhow.
Most guys would be scared to even attempt this play.
He's
except for Nolan. Look at that. No, guys would have to think, oh, I need to set my feet. I need to make sure I do this. But you know why he does it? Because he remembers Chris Owings getting down the line on that one-hop shot to DJ a couple innings ago. Kind of laughing, too, because last night we're driving home after the ballpark. We're sitting in the car. We said, hey, you know what? One thing we haven't seen in the last 2 or 3 days is one of those amazing plays from Nolan. Well, we'll have that conversation. We'll say, well, we saw it today in the 8th inning.
You know, I'm just speechless. I ran out of adjectives like 2 years ago to describe his wizardry defensively. Maybe Millie has something for us on Tuesday on our baby boy.
Well, that might be like the first question. Are you amazed at some of the plays that he can make? So Millie, I know they watch every game, so be prepared to answer that one on Tuesday.
2-1. I'm still in shock, so I forgot to let everybody know that's Nick Ahmed at the plate, ladies and gentlemen. Must be a nightmare to play against, Zach, but he's beautiful to play with. I'll give him another chance.
That's
I got
much
it.
easier.
That's routine. 1, 2, 3. Qualls, as he typically does, gets 3 ground balls. Hey, he hit our 3rd baseman. We'll go to the 9th, 6-3, Colorado.
come up with that last one after the plays by Nolan at third base. So I'm not sure if that was Chinny or Sully who came up with that.
for Sully coming up with the golden retriever for Nolan at third, I will say this: I have two dogs. I have a golden and I have an old English sheepdog, and they both like to chase things and retrieve it. The golden has made every single play on Stella, our old English sheepdog. Despite the great hustle and efforts of Stella, she's never gotten the ball once.
That's why they call them golden retrievers. And if you're wondering when Bark in the Park is in Colorado, it's August 16th. So go ahead and mark that on your calendar.
Enrique Burgos, his first pitch to Charlie. Misses ball one. Charlie hops out of the way. Rockies up 6-3.
First time in this series that the Rockies have seen Enrique. Recalled from AAA Reno, April 23rd. You know what? I take that back. He did pitch Friday an inning, but only 9 pitches in that inning. That's why it kind of escaped my memory.
Yeah, he was good on Friday.
So were the Rockies.
In fact, he faced Blackman, Story, and then Nolan on Friday. Cargo wasn't playing on Friday, and he'll see Blackman, Story, and Cargo today. Charlie hit a fly ball to left. Trevor hit a line shot. Remember that good catch that was made by Gene Segura. 2-1. And 2-2. Rockies got 3 in the 4th and chased Shelby Miller. Miller helped chase himself by walking in a run. Parra hit a home run in the 5th, and a 2-run home run from Nolan in the 7th when it was a 4-3 game. One out. Who Wants Tacos? Fans follow @RootsSports_RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies Taco Special when the Rockies score 7 or more runs. Be real nice to get that 7th run right here. A little extra cushion for Jake McGee in the 9th. Trevor's 0 for 4 today. Ground ball to second. Strikeout swinging and one caught looking, and then a fly ball to left field. There's our Diamondback fan who's a huge Trevor Story fan. There's a long line now. So a little bit more on the April that was for Trevor Story. Most extra base hits in the month of your debut, not necessarily April. For Joe DiMaggio in 36, it was May. He had 23 extra base hits. Nobody's done that since April of 01. Won Albert Pujols 17 extra base hits. Won April of 2016. Trevor Story also 17 extra base hits, tied for the major league lead with a few other guys this year. Guys like Donaldson, Altuve, produced 17 extra base hits. Manny Machado in the month of April this year. Those 3, and Trevor Story, the 4 with 17 extras in the month of April this year. And you know who produced 16? Big Papi.
Big Papi's still going strong in his last year.
He's in his this ball is on the ground on one hop to short. He's in his Derek Jeter, Kobe Bryant season. 2 gone, Cargo will come up.
Cargo today, 2 for 3 with the walk, 2 runs scored. He started that whole inning off in the 4th with the base hit. And the free 90 with the wild pitch. Scored on the Nolan single to right field. It's scored on the home run by Nolan last inning, or in the 7th, excuse me. Jake McGee getting loose, ready to close it out in the 9th.
He's going to face Weeks and then the top of the order. Ricky stayed in the ball game after signaling an inning ago. So 9-1-2 for McGee in the 9th. Burgos misses away 2-0. Two and one on Cargo with 2 outs in the top of the 9th. That's 3-1. You're talking about Goldschmidt and how it always seems like it's a 2-0 count when Paul's up there. Well, it's the same thing quite frequently. Cargo gets up there and they try to nibble with him, and the next thing you know, you have Nolan at the plate, and they're in a real unfavorable situation. Burgos didn't want to feed Cargo a fastball. 3-2.
And last year, many times it was Nolan hitting in front of Cargo. This year, it's the other way around.
And this is popped up left side. So 1-2-3 inning for Burgos. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Rockies 3 outs away from a sweep of the Diamondbacks at Chase Field. Jake McGee will be aboard when we return. Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By StubHub, looking for great seats, head to StubHub, the official ticket marketplace of the Colorado Rockies. And by Wells Fargo, customers, you get 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets by visiting wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Line score on this one, 6-7-1 for the Rockies. 3-10-0 for the Diamondbacks. So the Rockies need 3 more outs to sweep Arizona in Phoenix for only the 3rd time ever. And Jake McGee, who got the save last night, will be asked to do the same this afternoon.
Save number 5 for Jake. Did give up a couple hits, but was able to erase the first one on a double play off the bat of Tomas, then the double by Castilla, but got Peralta to ground out. The Rockies shake hands, win the game 5-2.
And again, it'll be Weeks, Goslin, and Drury in the 9th inning. Time for our CenturyLink link to what's next. Colorado upcoming schedule. The Rockies will continue this 10-game road trip in San Diego, and then San Francisco for 4. Then they'll come home for 6 ball games. The Diamondbacks and the Mets are in before the Rockies head to the Midwest, St. Louis and Pittsburgh, 3rd week of May. Rockies waiting to celebrate again. A victory will get them back to 500. So Ricky Weeks, who had a sharp single in the 7th inning, leading off against Chad Bettis. That's the final hitter that Bettis would face. Chad gave up 3 runs in 6+. And McGee guides a fastball over, strike 1.
Ricky in his career 1 for 4 against Jake.
Oh, good curveball. 0-2.
One he has worked on more and more, especially during spring training. We see it in games now. He's not afraid to throw it.
He told us today, going to a new league, and also, you know, being a little bit older, he says, you know, I'm always going to be able to throw 96 to 98. He really wanted to have another pitch. 0-2 fastball, and Nolan comes up with that from the seat of his pants. You're out. What a show he's put on the last 2 innings. That was an absolute missile off the bat of Weeks.
I'm going to just say this one was better than the one we saw last half inning. Okay? Last inning was ridiculous, and this is, I don't know what's above ridiculous, but it was.
It's not only, I don't know how he came up with this, all right? I don't know that answer. And then how about the arm strength and the accuracy falling away on one knee?
And just for Ben to just reach out, I've got it casually. Oh, 1 out. Just go ahead and just start engraving that Gold Glove right now, or painting it, or whatever they do.
We said that during spring training. He went 0-2. We remember that spring training. He made a couple of ridiculous plays, and we said, "Listen, just send it to him now."
Ends up on his back. Ho hum, another day at the yard.
I know it's sacrilege to say this. We've said it many times in the past. Never seen better. Never have seen better. Charlie's got it, 2 outs. Rockies 1 out away. Brandon Drury stepping in for Arizona.
You got to imagine Arizona's just sitting in that dugout after that first play's made to say, oh, it's over.
Yeah, start packing the equipment.
Yeah.
Listen, he reaches. You know, yesterday they put something together against McGee. It's deflating.
It truly is. When you see a play made against you like that in back-to-back innings.
Freak show.
Glad he's wearing the CR.
You bet. One, ground ball deep in the hole, past the diving Trevor Story, so a base hit for Drury. Shocked Nolan didn't get that one. Goldschmidt 0 for 3, walked in the 7th inning to keep that streak alive of reaching against the Rockies. 41 straight games. Story moves over in the hole, and that pitch is in there, strike 1. Goldschmidt's got a pained look on his face.
Not sure if he thought that was low or he should have swung at it.
This is starting pitchers, Huey, for the Rockies in this series. You know how tough a series, 2 series it was at home. Starting pitcher ERA for the Rockies was .972 on that last homestand. Here in Arizona, Chatwood, Russin, Bettis gave up 3 total runs. It was today, 3 runs, because Chatwood had 6 shutout innings and 5 shutout from Russin yesterday.
We always say starting pitching, that sets the tone for everything. Sets it for your defense, for your offense, way you manage, how you feel when you're coming to the yard and you look at the lineup card. Oh, well, we got him going today. Great. I feel good about our chances. Because the first thing you check is, am I playing? And then who's pitching is the second thing.
2-1. And that's in there. Curveball, 2-2 on Goldschmidt. So the Rockies a strike away. Drury at first. Two, and he didn't get on top of that curveball. 3-2.
Just rushed that pitch and left it behind.
Three-two, and he loses Goldschmidt, and now the tying run comes up in Peralta.
They're going to pull Peralta back and send Wellington Castillo up in his place.
So good move by Chip Hale. Castillo, the everyday catcher, who has a ton of pop. Rather than send Peralta up there against the left-hander.
Pitching for David Peralta, number 7, Wellington Castillo.
So Steve Foster will review scouting report on Wellington Castillo.
Well, just looking at the numbers for Peralta, this is before the strikeout last at bat for him against Boone Logan. He was hitting .207 with 1 home run against left-handed pitching, but Castillo .346 with 4 home runs.
So here we go. 2 out, 2 on. Rockies up 3. And the fastball at 92 on by Castillo. Thought on the backswing he got Tony Walters. That's what he was looking at Tony. He was asking also if he swung at a strike. Second question to Jordan Baker.
Jordan Baker said, yes, you did.
And now Walters calls timeout as McGee was going in the stretch. We talked to Jake McGee today, and he says he feels great. With a pitcher, you know, there's variances sometimes in velocity. McGee loves the adrenaline rush of pitching in the 9th inning. We've seen a lot more 92s than 95s, 96s, but I remember, I think it was 2-3 appearances ago, we saw a bunch of 95s and 96s.
Well, sometimes everything feels good. The ball just doesn't come out like you want every night.
That's right there at 92, and it's 0-2. I don't know if I've seen an outfielder in left field playing any deeper right now than Gerardo Parra, playing no doubles. He's literally you ever seen that? He's 1 step from the warning track.
Well, you want to make sure that Castillo, if he does hit it, a base hit, that he can cut it off and keep him at first base.
0-2, and the curveball.
But that is
in the dirt.
That is the definition of no doubles, as deep as he is. Gargo's not much closer. He might be a step closer in right field than Gerardo is in left from that warning track. And Charlie patrolling center field.
1-2 on Castillo. He's got a ball game over. Dialed up 95. And the Rockies win it 6-3. They've swept the Diamondbacks in Arizona for only the 3rd time ever and the 1st time in 12 years. 6-3 the final as the Rockies improve to 500, 12-12, and they send Arizona to their 3rd consecutive loss. They're now 12 up and 15 down. The only other sweep other than 04 and this one back in '98, the first 3 games the Diamondbacks ever played came against the Rockies. The Rockies would sweep. What a weekend for Colorado, especially coming off the 5 losses at home. All right, Jimmy John's delivery of the game, bases loaded, 7th inning. Carlos Estevez striking out Yasmani Tomas on a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Hit it if you can. That's our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. The Rockies win it, and the Rockies have won 5 of 6 in Arizona. The last time they won a season series down here was 2009. They've already guaranteed themselves of that. They will not be back here until mid-September. Terrific weekend in the desert for the Rockies. Plenty to talk about on the Toyota postgame show. We get you there right now. Here's Jenny.